So this week we've had Mitt Romney and retired General McChrystal both come out and launch attacks against Trump, both of them based on his character. Romney did an op-ed in the Washington Post that basically was like, Trump's not doesn't have the character needed to lead a country, and that he needs to be doing a good job unifying, but he doesn't have the character, and that's what the U.S. is going to be judged on around the world with Trump's character. And McChrystal came out and basically said that Trump's a liar and he's immoral, and attacked his character in that way. And Trump predictably goes after both of them. So I wanted to talk about the reaction to Trump going after them from different groups of people. Now, let me first start by saying that I don't think it's wise for Trump to go after people like this. I think it's beneath him in a sense. Like, dude, you're the president of the United States. Romney's a loser. McChrystal's retired. Just let them go. Let them say what they want. Or, employ people that go out there and defend you on Fox News or CNN or whatever, or will write op-eds in your behest, going out there defending you. Though I just think it's a bad look, and he ends up kind of like, you got fired, McChrystal got fired like a dog, and like stupid stuff like that. It's like, okay, dude, sometimes you're not very, for someone who spends so much time insulting, it feels like Trump could get some more diverse insults that he could lobby at some of these people. But so yeah, I don't think that it's necessarily a good look. But I can understand why Trump would want to do it, because people are always attacking him as this like horribly crappy person or stupid or a Russian stooge or whatever. And 95% of the coverage is negative to him. And he feels like, look, my point of view is never getting out there. And he knows that if he's boisterous and does his like, Manhattan-esque, bullying, like, hey, you don't pick on me, I pick on you, that's going to get some kind of attention. So it gets out there. And truthfully, a lot of people eat that up, though. Again, I think it's beneath him. I don't think that we need the president doing that. But I'm not like, at this point, I'm indifferent at this point. It's not like it's news to me that he's going to do that. And what I find hilarious is how people are absolutely shocked. Even people on the right, like I watch people like Ben Shapiro, which, look, I like Shapiro. He's one of the people that I watch, and I think that he's a very smart guy, and he's got a lot of opinions I agree with, but there's also a lot that he's about that I don't like. Like, he's very pro-Republican establishment in a lot of ways that I find kind of curious. And, for example, he knocks Trump for putting general in quotes on his tweet about General McChrystal, and he's like, oh, this guy served our country. You can't say generals in quote. Like, what's that implying? He wasn't a real general? Clearly he was. Okay, yeah, you're right. That's kind of stupid. That's something that I don't blame you nitpicking Trump for. The guy was a general, no matter how you slice it, so it's stupid to put it in quotes. But Trump does that all the time. He likes always putting stuff in quotes, or he's capitalizing stuff that it's like, I can't say anything. I'm terrible with grammar and punctuation. So, but yeah, okay, I get you. But meanwhile, you don't like take the time to be like, why is a general attacking the president of the United States like this? Isn't it doesn't that seem odd? And Shapiro's one of those guys, he'll never admit it, right? Like, he's always like he'll fully admit, like, yeah, okay, the intelligence agency, the FBI investigation of Hillary was totally crooked. And yeah, it seems like there was just shadiness going on in how they went with Trump-Russia collusion. But I guess to him, it's all a coincidence, or it's no big deal. Or we just have to say, that's the way things are. That's not that frightening. Shapiro doesn't want to spend much time on that, he doesn't want to question the intel agencies that frequently, it seems. And many other people on the right as well. And certainly the people on the left and the rest of the establishment feel the same way. Isn't it funny now seeing that all these people, like, it's just hilarious to me, all of these left-leaning news sites and politicians and media people, even celebrities, now all of a sudden George Bush wasn't a bad guy. Now all of a sudden that Romney comes out and has critical words of Trump, now he gets invited on CNN. Where were they when he was running for office? They lobbied all the same accusations him. He was a racist. He had binders full of women. All this sort of stuff. He was a terrible person when he was running for office. But now that he's rooting against, or at least making arguments against the Republican president, Trump, who they hate, who's their biggest enemy ever, because they're not journalists, they're merely mouthpieces for the establishment. And as I always like to remind in most of my videos about this, remember, we live in a country where the opposition party's leader, Chuck Schumer, told us on national television that we live in a country where the president is not allowed to criticize the unelected intel agencies because they'll find ways of getting back at him. Admitted on national TV. No one has a problem with that, by the way. Doesn't that seem odd? But yeah, we live in that country. And so is it any wonder then that when a politician comes out on behalf of that establishment that's saying, yeah, Trump has bad character, they're like, yes, yes. And it's funny, if you read Romney's op-ed, the only times he's really praising Trump's when, one, he gave corporations a tax cut, so helped Romney's rich lobbyists. Makes sense for a guy who made his living at Bain Capital, making millions of dollars, basically being a corporatist, So, of course, he wants less taxes for them, and which I don't necessarily agree with the tax cut, but of course Romney's going to be for that. And the only other thing he really praised Trump for was, like, bombing Syria. He's really against pulling troops out of Afghanistan and Syria. Isn't that funny? But the Party of Peace, CNN, the mouthpiece for the Democratic Establishment Party, they'll have them on because they're real peaceniks. Remember when they were all telling us, rock against Bush. Oh, we're sorry we made mistakes not covering the Iraq war. Never again. Now as journalists, we won't be duped by the intelligence agencies again. We're not going to be duped by these warmongering criminals. Fast forward 8 years. If you criticize or want to look into anything these intelligence agencies say, you're anti-American, you're hurting America. Now shut up and let's bomb the crap out of people or countries that have Russia's interests in mind. It's just so stupid. So it's funny how, people could have been the enemy of the Democrats for years and years and years. And as soon as they say one thing anti-Trump, boom. Now all of a sudden they're best. Oh, the Democratic media wants them on. All these Democratic politicians, John McCain, he's a hero. Jeff Flake's a hero. Bill Kristol's a hero. Max Boot's a hero. These people that used to be called warmongers. McChrystal would have been called a warmonger, but now that he's anti-Trump, that forgives all sins. And it's indicative of how, these establishment kind of progressive politics go. It's okay to, as long as you have the right politics, any sin is to be forgiven. But if you don't have the right politics, then you're to be condemned no matter what. And we see this on things like, Joy Reid. It's okay for Joy Reid to be homophobic because she hates Trump and has the right politics. So that's totally cool. And it goes on and on and on. As long as you have the right politics, you say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So and you see this, right? Let's, for example, Romney and let me read you a little of what McChrystal said and see what you think about this. Here's McChrystal. What I would ask every American to do is, again, stand in front of the mirror and say, what are we about? Am I really willing to throw away or ignore some of the things that people do that are pretty unacceptable normally just because they accomplish certain other things we might like? If we want to be governed by someone we want to do a business deal with because their background is so shady, if we're willing to do that, and that's in the conflict with who I think we are. And so I think it's necessary in those times we take a stand. Geez, thanks, McChrystal. You want to know, the type of person I wouldn't want to do business with? People that advocate endless wars in country, that want to overthrow places like Libya, Syria, Iraq, Iran, any other country that they think we could have some vested interest in. That's who I think's immoral. That's who I wouldn't want to do a business deal with. Oh, people like you, right? When did it become all of a sudden, because Trump's, I'm not going to deny he lies, but a lot of his lies are exaggeration type lies. It's annoying, but it's not a big lie as big of if you like your doctor, you can keep it, or any of the other litany of lies. How about lies that get us involved in wars where thousands of people died, including, U.S. troops? Oh, by the way, which predominantly come from poor families, Who cares about that? This disassociation with somehow we're supposed to be more upset because a president uses foul language than a president going off and getting innocent people killed, or lying to get into wars, or lying about healthcare and other things that are important to the economy. Somehow that first is immoral. We can't even stomach it. Those bad words, Trump called countries asshole countries. He had locker room talk. He said grab him by the P word. That's too much. Now bombing and killing innocent people, we could live with that. I'm so tired of this, faux outrage. I'm going to listen to these people. It's just like Hollywood. I'm going to listen to Hollywood lecture me about, sexual proclivities. People that knew Weinstein was doing what he was doing for years. Almost everyone in Hollywood knew that. The same people that, after knowing Roman Polanski anally raped a child, still cheered for him, still signed petitions, still called him God, still applauded for him, still wanted him to get back to this country and have all charges dropped. I got to listen to those people lecture me about morality. It's absolutely ridiculous. Look, I don't think Trump's an overly moral person. But I don't think that any of the presidents we've had, at least in my lifetime since I've been an adult, are. Who, Bill Clinton? Isn't it weird how they didn't have this stance when Bill Clinton was there? Or how about Ted Kennedy, right? Killed a woman. They didn't have that stance there. He was a hero, a feminist hero. Because he checked the right boxes ideologically. That's the most important thing, right? So all sins could be forgiven. Now I got to listen. Where was Romney? Where was this kind of attack? And Trump came out and said this even. Why didn't he fight this hard against Obama? No, he reserves his real hatred and real animosity for the person that's supposedly in his party. How much sense does that make? Character? Like Obama was a person of character? Right. Going to Reverend Wright speeches, fostering racial division, whatever he could, lying to the American people because they're, if they told the truth about Obamacare, no one would have voted for it. Overthrowing Libya, droning who knows how many innocent people all around the world, increasing troops in Afghanistan and Iraq after he said that he would be winding down those wars. The man won a Nobel Peace Prize because he was supposedly so big for peace, yet was the only president in the history over his 8-year term to preside over a war every single day of 2 terms in office. That's the Nobel Peace champion, whose Secretary of State was out there when discussing, the fact that that Gaddafi was killed, a bayonet shoved up him as he was paraded around the street as he's bleeding out to death. He said, "We came, we saw, he died." Right? Those are the moral people. That was all okay. That bailed out big bankers, that saw the absolute insane criminality that caused people, their entire retirement, that cast people into poverty, set this country billions of dollars back in the corrupt banking industry, that not one person was charged with a crime. That's the type of morality. All that's cool. All that flies from McChrystal and Romney. But tweet some bad words and that's a bridge too far. Go ahead and you could illegally drone people, go to illegal wars, kill innocent people, bail out your corporate lobbyist friends, rob people of billions of dollars. That's all totally moral and totally cool. That allows you to still have the character to be president, but have crude language and it's just it's utterly garbage. Now maybe you hate Trump and you're like, yeah, he's not fit to be president. Okay, fine, more power to you. But let's be honest, where was the left? I bought into this idea in the left. Even though I was never a Democrat, I bought into the idea during the Iraq War when I was against it. I'm listening to them being like, this is the most important thing. Corrupt wars are the most important thing. Trump seems to be, at least he's giving lip service to pulling out of some of those. Who knows if we ever will, because the party of peace now is browbeating him over the head. As much as the only time they'll praise him is when he launches a bomb. That's the only time he's morally fit to be president. Isn't that ironic? They could put up with the, foul-mouthed adulterer as long as he's bombing the right people. But God forbid he suggests not bombing them. Read Romney's statement. He'll tell you, they're furious that he got rid of Mattis. Oh my God. I was reading op-eds where people were saying the fact that Trump's pulling out, saying he's going to pull out of Syria makes nuclear war with Russia more likely. So not attacking Russia as allies makes it more likely that we end up attacking Russia. This is double speak and double think we haven't heard since the time of, Orwell's 1984. I'm just so tired of it. If you're really concerned about character, actions, not words, mean the most. You could think that Trump's unfit. You could think that he shouldn't be president. That's totally fine. But where were you when all these illegal wars were going on? Where were you when bankers were being bailed out with Obama? Did you also find that immoral of character? I did. I find that based on that, 98% of everyone representing us in Washington doesn't have a fit character to lead. They don't care about the constituents. They care about the ruling class in D.C. That's the people they spend all their time with. They don't even know the needs and wants of their constituents. They could care less. They'll throw them a couple bones. Every 2 years, or every election year, they'll talk about things they think their constituents want to hear. And then right back to, wages never increase, it seems. Things that people want border security, maybe not the wall, but they want illegal immigration dealt with. Who cares? That's not on the agenda of the. They don't want all these regime change wars. Who cares? They didn't want the bankers bailed out. Who cares? That's what I find contemptible. That's the type of character I wouldn't want to do business with, that I wouldn't want my kids hanging out with. Liars, corrupt people. People that are doing worse things than locker room talk or lying about crowd sizes. People that are actually allowing their criminal buddies to rob this nation. People that are encouraging illegal wars. That's the type of people that I find the most disgusting. But hey, I guess, according to the Party of Peace, according to the moral superiors in the mainstream media in Hollywood, and, people like Mitt Romney and General McChrystal, all that's cool. That stuff's all cool. That, being that type of morally corrupt person puts you perfectly in line to be a politician to serve. Now, use some bad words, that's too much. That's not the character of the United States. You need to be able to put on your suit and tie and speak like a gentleman while you're bombing the crap out of innocent people. That's the key. While you're robbing grandpa of his 401k he worked for his whole life to give it to your corrupt banker friends. That privatize all the gains, break the laws, and then socialize the losses by getting bailed out. That's the type of character we need. So, needless to say, a little upset about this. I think it's just stupid, but always remember when people are talking about character, don't just look at words, look at actions. And yeah, if you don't like Trump, that's fine. I can defend Trump on some things, not in others, If you're, but let's not pretend, to me, not killing innocent people, not bailing out corrupt bankers. That's more important than foul language and things like that, or stupid white lies. So, all right, yeah, thanks. If you like the video, there'll be a thing at the end. Click, please. Subscribe. It would help me tremendously. Tell your friends about the channel if you like it. I'll be putting videos up basically daily. And usually on Fridays at noon, I'll do a live stream. Though won't be doing one this week, but work obligations. But other than that, please check it out. So, all right, thanks everyone, and have a good one.